pushing that spank crap. If we make an open attack on them, they'll wipe the floor with us. They must be making spank on that big boat that Curly led you to. So we gotta use our heads. Or rather, one head. Your head. I'm asking you to destroy that spank factory as a personal favor to me, Salvatore Leone. If you do this for me, you will be a made man. Anything you want.
Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to my peoples and my guys, look alive, look alive. It's your boy Act Reacher, or Judge Galvatron presiding. You are all my witnesses and jury. You may all be seated if you not. Got my prosecutor eye fella in the building. Steels, talk to him.
Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite, yeah, your most hated odd fella. Back from another afternoon court session with Judge Galvatron. You know what I mean? Salute to the chat, the grand jury. You know what I mean? Salute to the whole public, you know what I mean? And the community on the wide, the LDBC. You know what I mean? Dope matter boxing. Dope day on the whole of boxing yesterday. Plenty of topics to talk about. Plenty of boxing news, results, reviews. We can break down, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think this is going to be a good little case study this afternoon.
I think so too. I don't even want to start with the tank fight. I want to talk about the Derek Chisora and Usyk. But before I even get into that, it was a great night of battle rap too, y'all. It was a great night of battle rap too, y'all. Y'all missed it. Murder Mook versus Tay Rock. To me, that was the best battle on the card. Tay Rock did his thing. I thought Mook edged it 2-1. I gave Tay Rock the first round. I gave Mook the second and third. But maybe I could be biased. Other people said Tay Rock 2-1. So it's one of those type of battles. It was great. Hopefully y'all can go check it out on the URL app if y'all didn't see it. Or, download the Caffeine app. They be showing battles live for free, y'all. But anyway, back to boxing.
Usyk Chisora.
I didn't even want to get to that yet. I wanted to get to somebody on that card. I wanted to talk about Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields. Savannah Marshall won the vacant WBO title. She stopped her last opponent.
At 168.
Yeah. And now her and her trainer after the fight is calling out and antagonizing Clarissa Shields. I gotta bang the gavel on them for that. Not that they calling them out. That's not the reason. I'm banging the gavel because of the disrespect, the way they approaching it. Like Clarissa Shields ain't fight nobody. Like Clarissa Shields has proven herself. And I
so
really do want to see that fight.
How they do it? I missed that.
Well, they've been going back and forth for years, probably I believe since the amateurs. And Savannah Marshall, I ain't gonna lie, she stopped it. That says a lot. Girls don't really be stopping opponents and stuff like that. So when it happens, you gotta appreciate that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, me personally,
I mean, she do got an amateur win over Clarissa Shields. I know that.
oh yeah, so that's okay. So that's the girl that beat her then.
Yeah, she's the last person that beat Clarissa Shields.
Okay.
Amateur wise.
Okay, I didn't realize that. So that's the last person that beat.
Yeah, they do have a history. I think it's the all right fight to build up. I mean, the pool's thin. I mean, the pool's shallow. You know what I mean? In the women's spectrum of things. Um, Clarissa Shields is, I think, still scheduled to fight the Canadian Marie Eve Dacary for a
But
championship at
but Clarissa
154.
Clarissa was saying Savannah Marshall can't duck because she's a mandatory. I guess with the
Well, I
WBO.
mean, I'm not too sure about that. I thought that was vacant. I thought that was for a vacant WBO title that Savannah won yesterday.
Yeah, but you remember if you move up and weight, and what don't ain't Clarissa got a WBO belt somewhere?
Um, Possibly at 160 when she fought Christina Hammer. I think she picked up one of them WBO straps. Oh shit, we got the OG. Got the OG in the courtroom.
Special guest, Stormy B, man. What's going on, brother?
What's good, fellas? How you guys doing?
Oh man, we good, man. We
Yo,
chilling, man.
Thanks for having me,
yeah, we
man.
good. We
Appreciate
good.
it.
Just
You, our
starting a
fella, how
little
you
light.
doing, bro?
And me starting to. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I checked in last night to your show. But yeah, we just starting a little light, talking a little Savannah Marshall right now. She been talking spicy after a victory last night to Clarissa Shields. So we kind of you know what I mean, talking the outcome or discussing that a little bit. What you think? Did you get to see the Savannah Marshall fight, and what you think about her?
I did not get a chance to see her fight or the Nui fight yet because it got late for me, and I had intended to, watch it back today. I was running around doing some errands because I know Ack had invited me on, so I was trying to get my errands out of the way before joining the show with you guys. So I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Okay, I didn't get to watch the New Way fight either. I only got to watch the highlights.
Yeah, I'm aware of the results because they came in just as the tank fight was getting going real good. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out. But what a weekend of boxing, huh? we
Yeah,
we were
it
really
was.
blessed this weekend.
We was. I wanted to touch on the tank thing last. I kind of wanted to build up, to the tank thing last. So, but do you think that the Clarissa Shield is in the Savannah Marshall fight because she beat Clarissa so many years ago? You think that's something you want to see in the pros, Stormy?
Well, I think of it like this. I think they should fight, and I think that any fights like this, or even if Clarissa has faced someone and defeated them, and they've had success since losing to her, run it back. This is the thing about boxing, and I've said this if you listen to any of my shows and platforms that I've been on with other people, rematches help sustain the sport. Because you can catch a person on a bad night or whatever. You can catch them when they have some things going on emotionally or psychologically and they just aren't at their best. Or you might have just been better than them on that night. And the fact that they lost to you will encourage them to come back and fight a different fight and make adjustments and try to be better. Uh, when you fail a test in school and they give you a chance to make it up, don't you take it? It's like you don't want to allow yourself to be left at a certain level where you may not have been at your best or you may have been bested without having an opportunity to show that you can be resilient and come back and to be better than you were. So that's why rematches are so significant in the sport of boxing.
I agree. Let me get in this chat real quick. Well said, Storm. Bruce Gold, salute. Said Jab Jamboree and panel. My brother Mark Wonderly said Utah now salute Axe Stormy and our fellow brothers. Uh, my homie Quiz in the building. Salute. Okay. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the Alexander Usyk and Chisora. Uh Steels, you there?
And
What did you think about the whole Chisora and Usyk fight?
disappointed. You know what I mean? On both ends, I was disappointed. And um, Usyk wasn't nearly as impressive as I thought he should have been. Although I predicted he was going to box circles, you know what I mean, around Chisora, but he still had his issues. You know what I mean? Chisora was very lethargic in this fight. It seemed like he didn't have the best of stamina. He wasn't in the best of shape. He looked like that in the weigh-in. That war paint he was wearing, looking like Kamala, was just covering up the inevitable. You know what I mean? And yeah, he felt he won the fight. I felt he lost the fight comprehensively. You know what I mean? He was swinging wildly. He looked good in the first round and maybe half of the second round, and for the rest of the fight, the man was just looking tired. You know what I mean? Looking like a zombie, aimless, moving forward. Um, I felt Usyk the way at the state Chisora was in. Um, Definitely in the middle rounds and leading on to the end of the fight, Usyk should have stopped this nigga. You know what I mean? Heavyweight boxing, you know what I mean? And especially with all the questions with this guy, Usyk, the hype behind him. You know what I mean? We got motherfuckers coming out their neck talking about this nigga's the next Holyfield and shit. Well, if he the next Holyfield, that motherfucker, you gotta stop guys like Chisora. Let's be real. He's a low-key gatekeeper, a damn good gatekeeper. You know what I mean? But the elites stop gatekeepers. You know what I mean? Even Dan, Dan, the Lycan stopped, stopped Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? He was out. He was there for the taking. He was right to be picked, and Usyk didn't pick it. You know what I mean? So it shows me his power is definitely limited. You know what I mean? It shows me his mentality or his desire to stop, or his temperament is the better word. His temperament it's not spicy enough, you know what I mean, to get those stoppages. You know what I mean? To go that extra yard to you know what I mean, to get that touchdown and lay that motherfucker down. That's why I'm kind of disappointed what I seen from Usyk, you know what I mean? Because he could have went that extra yard and he didn't. You know what I mean? He was satisfied with just getting that victory, that unanimous decision victory, and on to the next. But I'm not interested in the next, really. You know what I mean? Um, he out here calling out AJ, saying he want AJ next. Well, these big boys like AJ, I don't think it's gonna be much of a fight. You know what I mean? Um, Championship fights are 12 rounds. Usyk might have four of them, and and then it's gonna be all she wrote. That's my take on the whole thing, man. I wasn't impressed with Usyk performance at all.
Okay. Stormy B, did you get to catch the fight, brother?
Yes, sir. I caught I caught the entire the zone card, as a matter of fact. But I want to say this about the fight going in. I had did a pre-fight video and I said that I saw this fight being a draw. And I know that that might have sound going in, that might have sounded far-fetched to a lot of people because they saw Usyk being small and Chisora being a stronger guy and a bigger guy and that he, if he put paws on Usyk, he could knock him out or whatever. Well, that's true to a certain extent, but we can't take away Usyk's ability to box, and that he being a seasoned fighter coming up from a smaller weight class, the first and foremost thing that people didn't think about is he going to be in there to take care of himself? And we got the answer in the first round when Chisora charged out with what I referred to last night as a caveman-like style. He just came out winging stuff with no setting anything up. But Usyk saw his strength and his power immediately and went into a defensive mode. Now, the defensive mode wasn't about covering up and stuff like that. For him, as with a lot of the European fighters, it was his movement. And so after he survived that first round, he realized that his feet were too fast for Chisora. And that is how he was able to go the distance. Now, Chisora, what I'm upset about him was his corner did not prepare him properly for the fight. This man, you cannot tell me he did any road work for this fight. As a fighter yourself, you don't gas out after 2 rounds.
What? Ask our fella Stormy what I was saying about the tire around his belly. Because they were saying he looked in shape. But ask Steels, what was I saying?
Yo, that's a fact. We was both saying that. You was talking about the tire around the belly, and I was talking about, look at this nigga walking into the ring. He could barely get over the ropes and shit. You know what I mean? He was walking funny immediately. I was like, man, I don't like the way this nigga look.
We call that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, keep cooking.
Yeah. So again, if Chisora was a U.S. fighter, we would have more data on him, what his tendencies are, what he's like with training and stuff. Unless you got an ear to the ground over there, you wouldn't know certain things. But I saw it just after the first round. I'm like, this guy, he don't have the stamina or win to win this fight. Now, should he have made the final bell? Absolutely not. If Usyk had anything, but Usyk didn't even have anything that tried to hurt him. He stunned him a couple of times. He was winded. He was gassed, and he couldn't do anything to get out of the way and stuff like that. But this fight told us a lot about both guys, pretty much all negative data. Usyk should rethink the heavyweight career, because there are men up here who can have him for dinner. Chisora should go ahead and fade on off into the sunset, because I believe outside the ring, he's a cool guy and everything. He presents a certain image in there. But man, getting hit upside the head for a living, there's got to be better ways to make a living. And he's made some money. He's fought some guys. But there is nothing he can do going forward but get hurt by younger prospects. Because you got guys like Danny Dubois and Joe Joyce, and not that Joe Joyce is a spring chicken himself, but he's a prospect at this stage still, that are going to be facing each other. And then Chisora's name may be the next guy.
At least he's early 30s. At least, you know what I'm saying? But he better off than Chisora.
But what I'm getting at is this. After their fight, Chisora's name may be next. You understand?
You're right. I agree.
So it's like, you don't want guys like that banging on you, because they got the youth, they've got the energy and everything. So Chisora, he needs to pack it in. But yeah, I call this fight being a draw, and they kind of fought like it anyway. The end result was still, to the final bell, Usyk was in danger because he can't take heavyweight strength and power. So, he might be a big guy for cruiserweight, but he's not that good to make himself exceptional. And please, stop being blasphemous, mentioning his name in the same sentence as Evander, because there's no way that this dude could be measured up with Evander, regardless of what he accomplished at cruiserweight. Because Evander was a whole different type fighter. I've often remarked that Evander Holyfield was to cruiserweight that what Marvin Hagler was to middleweight. They were the same guy in two different divisions.
Okay. Well, I personally had the fight like I said it was going to be unanimous. I said that he was going to put on a boxing exhibition. It was a little bit rougher in the beginning, and I did think that Usyk did start rolling better with the punches towards the end. But I still think that there's a lot of things he got to work on, because if he's going to be in there with like Dubois and the Juggernaut and even Davey Allen's, I think that, see, dudes like Davey Allen, they'll probably give him, like, you know what I mean, a little bit of a test, but I think he could mold dudes like that over. I think from here he got to fight a little bit better competition and sharpen up on things, but not somebody that's too strong right now. I still think that he got to get acclimated to the weight. Usyk, I still don't think that he's acclimated to the weight just yet. But overall, the fight turned out kind of like I think Usyk did edge it, even if you thought it was a close fight. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. Inoue against Maloney. I didn't get to see the full fight, but I did watch the highlights and I seen enough. I could imagine what could have happened. I watched all of Inoue's fights. The thing is, after the fight, they asked him about who has a WBC belt. In that
Say
division, who has a WBC belt in Inoue's weight division? That's Super Bantam, right?
I would have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head.
That's 122.
Keep cooking and sharing my screen. I'm gonna pull up the spreadsheet real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good idea. Yeah. So they asked him about him and Casamayor, and he definitely said that he want to fight Casamayor and the other dude that got the dub. So he basically saying he want to be undisputed. Inoue's basically saying he want to be undisputed.
Personally, I think that Usyk. Inoue.
Talk is cheap.
Inoue is going to have to move up to challenge himself, because he's basically a man amongst teenagers. I won't say boys, but he's a man amongst teenagers where he is now. And that's the thing about fighters. If you want us to say that you're great or potentially great, you have to set goals for yourself to achieve greatness. And that will be about leaving that weight class and going up and fighting some guys who are a little bit bigger and guys that will challenge you. You know, he doesn't have any challenges at this stage of where he is. That's just my thoughts on it.
Okay. So you don't think Casamayor provokes any threat, Stormy, at all? And I think he fight at 118, right?
Who? Inoue?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he's at 118, I believe.
Yeah.
Here we go. So yeah, you got the WBC. Nordine O'Bally is the WBC champion right now over there. John Riel Casemiro, flamboyant boy from the Philippines, is a WBO champion. The WBA, of course, is Naya Inoue. We got Riggin
And they
now,
got the
the world.
IBF.
Yeah.
And
So
Inoue
you
got the
get
IBF.
five.
Don't forget that. Okay. All right.
So so what did he say? He said he wanted to fight Nordine Bali.
He said he want to fight him and Casamayor. He want both of the belts. He just needed. I guess he wanted to have this fight with Maloney to see where his eye was at.
Okay, well I think Ubali he's already scheduled to fight Manito Donaire.
Oh, that okay. I think they brought that up too. That's crazy. He about to fight
So I
Donito.
mean
Wow.
Casemiro's available.
Yeah.
Casemiro's available as you see in the WBO. Jason Maloney is was number one. So Naya Inoue did him a justice by cleaning up that mandate that future mandatory for Casemiro. It makes all the sense for Naya Inoue to fight Casemiro next. Casemiro been calling the Naya Inoue out. You know what I mean? It's a unification fight. It was already scheduled from before the pandemic. You know what I mean? There's no reason why it shouldn't have been rescheduled, but it hasn't. Other than your boy the monster is ducking my Filipino friend over there. All of a sudden, your homeboy talking about Nordine Valley. We all know that nigga Nordine Valley is tied up.
He said he want both of the belts, Steels. You can't do that. He said he want both of the belts. It's not like he said, you know what I mean, he ignored Casamayor. He said he want both of the belts, man. Don't do that, man. We gonna put a case on you. We gonna have order in the court, man.
Speaking out of turn.
You sitting here, you getting at him, you getting at a new way for no reason. See what he do. See what he do.
You told my niggas talking sideways, bro.
He had to check his eye out. He had to check his eye out. Don't I give everybody a chance to get acclimated to weights and test their stuff out if something happened to them? Just like Earl Spence. This is, to me, it's not really a tune-up fight, but hey, I still think that it's just a notch down. It's definitely a notch down, below Pacquiao and Crawford. But I'm just saying, man, like, you got to give Inoue a chance. At least see what the dude is going to do after. He just got this knockout win. It was a beautiful, beautiful right hand. And let's just see what happens next.
Here. We got another Filipino. At IBF, he got some mandatory IC. Michael Marina.
As far as Inoue wanting to have his eye checked out, I definitely feel you on that, because that was an ugly cut he had in that fight against Donaire, man.
His orbital bone got broken. That's not nothing to play with.
Right.
It's different if you get a little rib shot, it's something like that, and you go down and you don't get back, or even that uppercut or whatever. I ain't gonna lie, last night, but we gonna get into that. You know what I mean? At least you get time to sit down, because they not gonna let you get right back up.
Yeah, and I had said when they ended that fight between he and Donaire and the decision was announced and everything, when they were showing him in the ring, and I was like, man, that's a bad situation right there. And I didn't even know at that time the orbital bone was, fractured. But because especially, and this is not trying to say nothing derogatory about the Asians, okay? But eyes are made differently around there, around the brow and everything. And the way his eyes are made, the way that cut was, it's like there's no it's like it's exposed. It's not hidden, it's not up underneath or around. It's like it's right there on the surface, like let's say, like if it was on your forehead, So it's gonna take a good time for that to heal properly and everything, but he was fortunate to come out last night on top and in good shape. I never thought that Maloney was going to do anything to put him in jeopardy, because when I watched the films on Jason Maloney, what I noticed about him was when he was fighting lower opposition, he was very aggressive, let his hands go. He knew he was in there against guys he could beat up, okay? But that one opponent that they had from the Super Series, that was a common opponent, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Maloney went to a split decision with him. So that told me a lot, because that meant that he fought a more safekeeping style of fight for himself, as opposed to those guys he was fighting, before he got to the series. And then Rodriguez, even though he looked good in the series and he was boxing people well, he threw great combinations and stuff. Man, Inoue took him out in like 2 rounds and had him hurt at the end of the first round with a good shot. So it was like he ain't up to, being able to take this. And I know that Maloney had a chance to watch that, so he was going to come out defensive. In my pre-fight breakdown call, I had it going 3 rounds. Now, it went longer, but not much longer. But at the same time, like I said, Inoue is just a little bit, a full head over these other guys right now. Now, if he can go on and collect those other belts and fight those other guys, just like our fella just said about the Filipino guy, he needs to fight him. And then after that, move up.
Let me get in this chat real quick. Stormy doing double duty. He said smash the like button or jab the like button, whatever y'all want to do. Mac here, he said my brothers, the Jab Jamboree. And then now Jay Dixon's in the building. Salute, fam. All right. To end that, I do want to see him. Oh shoot, my fault. I didn't mean to do that. Stay Ready said Casamayor called Inoue a Japanese turtle. I'm banging the gavel on that, cause that ain't gonna win you the fight. That ain't gonna win you the fight. That's not gonna win you the fight. You could say all of this and all of that, and then when Inoue hits you with something, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. He's trying to let you enjoy your little belt, because after we bump you off, you're gonna go back to the Philippines and you're gonna be a pirate. After we bump you off, you're gonna go back to the Philippines and you're gonna be a pirate. That's what's gonna happen.
Over in the east, over in the far east, them fighting words. You don't call another nigga a turtle over there, huh?
Just be careful. Be careful what you wish. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. He might get bumped off. In my Batman voice, he might get bumped off. He might get bumped off, champ. Don't do that. Let Casamayor enjoy it. Sometimes I be wanting certain fighters to enjoy their belt because they gonna get bumped off.
It's spooking the kids. Your fake monster spooking the kids out here needs to get taken care of. You know what I mean? We
And
got a
shit,
Filipino
shit. The
judge
rate,
for that.
I ain't even worried about it.
His name's Casimiro.
The rate Inoue going. He about to be a folklore anyway. He bugging out. He got to move up though. He do. I agree with Stormy though. He didn't do enough to even be on my pound for pound list. And if he was on my pound for pound list, he probably would just be 10.
Hey, check this out, Act and I fellas. How about this? This can't fly under the radar. This has to be brought out in the open. And going forward, all of us as channels need to watch this very carefully. Last night's production on ESPN was a showcase for Inoue, but they are totally bypassing Terrence Crawford, man. Now that Lomachenko is out, right? Because Lopez beat him. They're looking for the next guy to displace Terrence Crawford. It's like I watched that, as much as I could up until the time when the Showtime card started. But I could see exactly what they were doing, man. They were hyping Inoue up. Not that he doesn't deserve some kind of acknowledgement, but it was like overbearing. And they were talking about Crawford. They even had Crawford on in an interview there that they were doing. And they were basically throwing things at him like questioning his opposition. And don't he think he need to do something for himself and this and that? Whereas he's been in their house and graces for a while, right? But they don't talk about him like they talk about these other guys. And Inoue last night, you can almost see them chomping at the bit. Even when you heard Bradley, saying stuff about him, it's like, oh, he's like the best thing since sliced bread or whatever. Here we go with that again. Remember, it was Lomachenko. Now, Lomachenko is out of there because he lost. Here they are, and they're jumping on the Inoue bandwagon. We got to watch out for this stuff, man.
Definitely. I kind of want to build into that. So you made me almost go into another topic. But
sorry.
I'm gonna just say this, man. You know what? We gonna go into it. And then we gonna get on the tank card.
I wasn't
Right
trying to jump you ahead of things.
Nah, forget it. It was gonna be a bonus question.
Anyway.
Nah, because it kind of lead into it because you say you brought up a good point and you say about like the replacement of things and the replacement of people, and that happens, even in life. You know what I mean? I kind of felt that way. And no offense, nobody did anything. You can't help that if people dug you as that. But I was thinking that after that happened with Wilder and Fury, the second fight, that's when they really started pushing Big Baby Anderson. Not that Big Baby Anderson is on that same side of the street, if you want to call it that. And it's not that it's Big Baby Anderson's fault. But I feel like they really try to like focus him now. Like, look at this new American heavyweight that could box.
The next best thing,
Yeah. I kind of felt bad. I kind of felt like when I was a kid watching Toy Story with the Woody, and then Buzz Lightyear came. He got a new toy. I felt real bad, man. I felt real. You know what I mean? Like, But I'm glad that the champ is in good spirits, and this is leading in and segueing into the next thing that I wanted to cover and talk about. How do y'all feel about Wilder breaking his silence and finally talking and things like that? Me, I was really happy. I was really happy to just hear from him. You know what I mean? He sounds like his old self. You know what I mean? But what did you fellas take from it? Any one of y'all could go first. Steels or Stormy.
Well, I thought that, of course, it's definitely a good thing to hear the champ come out and talk on his own accord.
Oh, yeah, and great interview by 78. I'm sorry, son.
Yeah,
I forgot to.
Shout out to 78 for having the opportunity, the relationship, and the pipeline to be able to deliver that, and the champ for having the confidence in allowing himself to be lent to the platform that 78 has. So salute to them for that. Um, my thoughts are it was great to hear him come out and talk. First of all, uh, was it a little long in waiting? Absolutely. Not just because of him and some of the things that were finally revealed by him and his camp through his personal own words, but simply because as the now former heavyweight champion of the world, I think he does have a responsibility to a certain degree to his supporters to let people know he's okay. And this was like, what, this is October 31st. The fight was in February. That's an awful long time to let people know you're okay. You don't have to discuss details or anything else or whatever, but to not let your people hear from you almost all year, that's kind of tough. I remember when Ali lost to Frazier in their first fight, people cried because Ali meant so much to them as a figure of strength, as a voice for the community, and especially during a time of the civil rights movement, what he meant to people was so much. And when he lost to Frazier, he was questioned at the press conference. They was like, "Oh, I bet you don't want to go through anything like that again, right, champ?" And he was like, "Oh, how wrong you are." He was like, "I'll see him in 6 months." You understand? That was Ali. Now, I'm not saying that Deontay should do what Ali did, but what I'm saying is he actually has a great deal of people's interest in a manner of like Ali. It's totally different from Tyson, totally different from Lennox Lewis, totally different from Evander Holyfield, all who have had title reigns at the heavyweight division. But Deontay does, in this modern era, have the pulse of a lot of the community. Whether he knew that or not, I'm sure he had some sense of it, but it is really in a time of like what we're dealing with, the police shootings and all of this political unrest and things like that. To hear him say the things that he was saying, people were looking for that and they latched on to him. And then, of course, he had haters and detractors as well. But I'm just saying it was a little bit long getting back to have his voice heard. What he talked about, he was very revealing in a lot of things. But what I'm saying, and I'm not accusing him and I'm not coming down on him, I'm just saying that it was a long wait for people who just wanted to hear how the champ was, because everybody was able to speculate, put their own thoughts out there, put lies out there and everything. And that's damning. But great to hear him. Glad he's coming back and he's going to do what he's got to do for himself and take control of his career in the direction he wants to go. But yeah, that's what I had to say about that opening wise. Go ahead, Odd Fella.
Stills, you there? If you there, you on mute.
He might have stepped away
He
for a
probably
minute.
stepped away.
So what do you think about what
Yeah.
I had to say, Ak?
No, I think that was good. I mean, that's definitely understandable. I kind of wanted to hear from him too, but everybody got their time. I understood that. I knew eventually that we would hear from him though, so I wasn't stressing it too much because I knew that eventually he would come out. I think that it was actually kind of a good time for him to come out. His birthday had just passed and everything, and also Tank had a fight coming up, and he likes watching Tank fight, and he had tweeted he can't wait for the fight, and then he eventually came out with the video, and he's talking about how Fury should just be a man of his word and honor the contract, and I think that he should too, because I feel as though that Tyson Fury, he did the same thing with Klitschko. Did the same exact thing with Klitschko.
Yeah. And like I said, my comment is not critical at all, not in the least. But from the position that he held as the heavyweight champion and his 5 year reign and run and 10 title defenses, you just kind of want to know, and you got to be honest with yourself on this. You want to know that the champ is cool. He's ready to go and he'll be back. That's fine. That's all you need. Now, as far as the controversial stuff and the things that were unsavory, yeah, if he want to talk about that at a later time at his doing or whatever, that's well respected. But I'm just saying, like, when you have a prospect, right, and they're on their way and they're doing well, and they get sidetracked with a loss that was unexpected or whatever, they kind of go into a shell and they disappear for a while, and then they'll come back. Well, that's kind of how what he did, but he didn't have to do that as the champ. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different because the champ usually has, as I said again, the pulse of the people, whether it's the people that are tremendous supporters and they live vicariously through him, or it's his detractors. And to hell with the detractors. But the people who love and adore you and support you and want the best for you, you do have to feed them something because we are human. And when you're dealing with human people, they have human emotions. And then they have fears and apprehensions and things like that. And when you're in that position, you have to understand a little bit of that. Muhammad Ali uh, talked a man off the ledge who was going to commit
Yeah,
suicide.
yeah.
And because he was Muhammad Ali, he was able to go up there. They had like psychologists and everything that couldn't do anything with the guy. The guy was going to jump off a building. And Ali went up there and talked to him. And he said, hey, man, all these people out here, they don't want to see you do something crazy. They want you to live. And he was like, I'm here. I want you to live. And the man, Ali talked him off the ledge. And the man hugged Ali and he cried and everything. And all he wanted was somebody to listen to him. And at that moment, it happened to be that the greatest was around and he lent himself. You just don't know what you mean to people when you are in that position of strength. And so even if you suffer a setback, like I said, his first fight with Frazier and his first loss, people were crying because they felt like they were on the wrong side of righteousness when Ali was defeated and everything he meant. You understand? So it's like it's human to think that way. But it's also great to reflect upon and understand the responsibility behind it all because, again, you represent so much to so many because you were the champion of the world, not the champion of Alabama. You know what I mean? And there are people, they want the best for you. You have to believe that. You have to know that. Just like you already know there are people who don't want the best for you. But which do you rely upon and set your stone and rock upon? The support and the love. Because that goes from the heart goes to the heart. And when you represent like that, even those evil ones out there can be turned because the vibe of the love that God puts in your heart is stronger than any hate that any man can try to manifest in this society.
Okay, shoot. Stormy got poetic on us. That was that was nice. Well said, Storm. How do you feel about this whole situation? Hold it down real quick, too.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, this was I have a different. I haven't heard what I didn't even get the chance to hear what you said, Stormy. But I have a I believe I have probably a different perspective. Um, and from the initial, I guess, public service announcement that came out, the video that came out yesterday, of Wilder kind of talking in parables and reciting biblical verses and whatnot, and then had some of the evidence regarding the Tyson Fury's gloves. To be real, in my opinion, it was kind of corny. You know what I mean? Um, I wasn't feeling the presentation of it. In my mind, if you really um, feel you have the this evidence, then you need to take it, you know what I mean, to a court of law. You know what I mean, and not display it in the court of Instagram. The way the timing was iffy to me too. I know silence, you know what I mean, is being absent sometimes is greater than being in people's faces all the time. So he was silent, but at the same time, questions were needed to be answered. His timing for his answers, uh, in my estimation, were questionable. On Devil's Night, he alludes to Tank Davis's fight. You know what I mean? Even though that we want to hear him speak on what's going on with the Tyson Fury fight. Then on Halloween, you know what I mean, he proceeded to come out with his official statement regarding the whole situation. You know what I mean? On Halloween, the same, probably the biggest boxing day in the year. You know what I mean? With all these fights from the UK to two big telecasts in the US. He cleverly utilizes that day. Boxing fans, you know what I mean, are gonna be tuned up and, you know what I mean, ears and eyes open. Utilizes that day to make his announcement. But there still remains questions for me. He made some statements and some answers on 78 Sports TV. Salute to the general, first and foremost, for having the ability, you know what I mean, and the stature to get the champ on the platform. You know what I mean? That that's that's you know what I mean. That's huge. That's huge. But the fact remains
So
is
you
that
think it was suspect that he
happening
came
next.
out at the particular time that he did?
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I think it was suspect. I think it was, but at the same time, I think it was clever. You know what I mean? Being a
I was gonna
so-called
say it
man of
is
God, why
smart.
you
That was actually smart. If you think about it,
Halloween?
it was smart. It was very intelligent. I think that was the
Hold
perfect
up.
time.
Let me finish my cook though.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Like, I don't know. I find it suspicious that you so-called man of God, but you utilizing Halloween to you know what I mean, to present your statement. You know what I mean? But that's on a philosophical, symbolic, you know what I mean, level. I think the timing was a little bit. I just feel the timing was late. You know what I mean? With all these stories of Tyson Fury announcing a fight on December 5th, um, possibly tack him and all this and that, we still didn't hear no response. But then to have a staged, you know what I mean, video, like you campaigning for something, I don't know. I wasn't feeling that. To me, if it was in my shoes, I'm coming to the people. If I'm gonna do it the IG way, I'm going live and having people come on my live. You know what I mean? And addressing the fans, trolls and fans alike. You know what I mean? If I was advising, but I'm not. Go ahead,
Go
Judge.
ahead, Judge.
I mean, me personally, I think everybody got their time to think and reflect on that. He probably needed that time to think and reflect on the fight. You know what I mean? And also, he sustained an injury to the side of his head. He brought that up also. So we gotta keep in mind that he still needed time possibly to piece together. If you think about it, see, man, you gotta understand. I was the type of dude, man. I read a lot of Sherlock Holmes books. You gotta piece these things together. You can't just come out with assumptions or rash. You can't be rash and just start saying things about people right away, and you ain't got all the evidence. He probably needed all of the evidence and try to put all of the pieces together.
So you got
So
all
you
the
got all the
evidence, fam.
evidence, fam.
You
We don't know if he had it
you got
early
all
at that particular time after the fight, though. Right after the fight, you think that he was gonna have all that information and all of that after the fight. The man said that he felt funny after he had the water. He
Well,
said it felt like
our fella didn't get a chance to hear my comment on it. Could you give him a brief overview of what I had said
go
before he
go
came
go
back?
go ahead, Storm. Go ahead, Storm. Go
No, no,
ahead. Go
no. I
ahead.
said, could you give him a brief of what I was saying because it was.
He basically Stormy was basically saying he feels like the main part that I got from what Stormy was saying, he felt like Wilder is important to the culture in the boxing community, and he felt like he should have basically came out quicker. So he basically kind of agreeing with you, Steels, in a way. Because he feel like Wilder should have came out sooner too. Me personally, I think that he should have put. I don't mind him taking his time because I'm not gonna lie.
but look
That was a
here. But look
that
here,
second
man.
fight
It's
was a
all
bad
in what
situation.
you're gonna do with it. It's all with what you're gonna do with it, man. You know what I mean? He came out with it great. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit too late for coming out with it now because what you gonna do with it? You're talking about uh in parables and scriptures getting revenge. You know what I mean? But how you gonna get revenge? The only way to get revenge is if you proven wrongdoing. You know what I mean? Because you proven that Tyson Fury was improper in the way he positioned his gloves. You know what I mean? And, and he did damage to your head. You know what I mean? He did damage to your body. You know what I mean? That was illegal. So if you come in with that, you got to get him in the courts. You can't come and fight him again and give him another payday. It doesn't make sense to me. The nigga is a champion right now, Tyson Fury. That means he's getting 60-40. Let's talk the numbers right now, man. You know what I mean? A minimum of 60-40. He gets the lion's share of the money. So tell me how you gonna get your revenge just off of a knockout? You knock the motherfucker out, he's still laughing at the bank. What is he gonna do next? Niggas are too hungry for blood. Get knock this motherfucker out. You knock that motherfucker out, you just getting them fucking fatter in his pocket.
But still,
If you
that'll
have
correct.
legitimate
But
evidence,
still,
if you got
that to me that would correct that wrong though. But keep it.
that don't correct no art.
As far as fight wise,
That
as far as fight wise,
I mean, it is what it is. I don't agree with the whole situation with him going back to fight, man. If that was the case, these guys don't want to fight. They want to run away from it. Uh, and when I say these guys, I mean Tyson Fury, Top Rank, and Queensberry Promotions and whatnot. And it's obvious. So if they don't want to fight in the ring, you get them in the court. You get to fight in the court and get your, you know what I mean, and get your vengeance back 7 times over. You know what I mean? And you stop that unification, that so-called undisputed fight that you had the ticket for. That's how you pay. That's how you pay niggas back. Fucking knockout. You already knocked the guy out, and he came back. Niggas acting like this motherfucker
It was
owes
a
me something.
delayed count.
Listen. Niggas acting like this nigga owes people something. People need to understand. The nigga's name's the Gypsy King. You know what the root word of gypsy is? Gyp. To gyp. That's the science of his name.
Let
Why
me get in
people
this
acting
chat.
surprised?
Let me get in this chat. Mark Wunderlich said, "Are you by the ocean?" Nah, it's raining in New York, and you know what I mean. You know where I live. You know what I mean. It's mad traffic, so you hear the bikes, you hear the cars, all of that. It's raining. Love Hate 8 said, "What's up, fellas, man? What a knockout! Just stopping by, hit the like button. Gotta go hit up the yard. Little, I'll catch it later. Peace, fellas. Appreciate it. Love Hate 8. Let's get into the Tank card, man. Let's get into the Tank card. What did y'all think of Regis' performance? Fella.
Fortunately, I didn't get to see much of the undercards on the Showtime pay-per-view. I did see the highlights. As I said yesterday, last night, you know what I mean, late night with 503. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a big deal that Regis came in overweight. You know what I mean? I think it was one of those fights where just didn't get up for it like that. Like it wasn't a big deal. Wasn't for a ranking. Wasn't for no eliminator. Wasn't for no interim title or nothing like that. So it is what it is. But especially the caliber of the opponent, this unheralded, unknown, undefeated opponent. There, I'm not going to say there was no need to get underweight, but it just to me it's not that much of a concern. You know what I mean? I'm hearing whispers of him or people in the community talking about you should move up in weight, and I don't think that's the case. I think he should still remain at 140, and I don't think he's gonna have a problem at 140. But nonetheless, he was able to get that stoppage, that knockout of Juan Heraldez. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. On to the next. He is on PBC right now, and the fight that looks like it's coming down the pipeline is Maurice Hooker. We seen on, if you follow on IG, Smoke City Mobcast. You know what I mean? Ran by my guy 503. You see Maurice Hooker up on there eating his popcorn. You know what I mean? Getting ready to watch the pro grade fight because he has definitely some vested interest because he wants to be next. You know what I mean? And he is a PBC fighter himself. He signed up. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a fight to happen in the very, very near future.
Stormy, what'd you think of Juan Heraldez and Regis' program?
Heraldez at the end of the day didn't look like he belonged in the ring with Regis, but it was a shake off the rust type of affair for Regis coming back, after being such a long layoff, his last fight being with Taylor and everything. But I saw early on in the fight, Regis was doing certain things and Geraldo was just not ready for it. You could just tell the separation in talent. Regis was throwing this jab at him, which was like how do I describe it? We talk about jabs all the time. It was a jab to get him to think about the jab when he's really setting it up for something else. and Geraldo took the bait. You know, it was like it's sometimes funny how you can see where the separation in talent is so strong, and that's what I got from that fight. But hey, he got him out of there in a couple of rounds. He shook off his ring rust. I know he came in a pound over in the weight and stuff like that, so he lost a little money on the scale. But it was one of those things that I'm sorry, with such a long layoff as far as due to the COVID situation, these guys have no excuse for not making the weights for their fights, especially Regis. He knew he was going to have a fight coming up. I don't care if he, found out a certain amount of time. You ain't supposed to let yourself just go. It speaks volumes about what kind of fighter you really are, that you would allow yourself to go and you couldn't hardly make the weight, and then turns out you got to lose money on the scale too. Again, I don't give these guys any leeway or slack when it comes down to stuff like that. You're a freaking professional. Get your butt out there and be professional. You want me to buy a ticket to you. I want to see you at your best. I don't want to see you with a spare tire. I don't want to see you looking puffy and all of that. Now, you wouldn't be that way if it was Josh Taylor, right? So it's like, fight everybody like it's Josh Taylor, because that's who whooped your butt. And some people say, well, he didn't really win. He got the decision over there. Well, he knew he had to go over there to win, and he didn't. So even last night, he made a comment about, oh, everybody knows if the fight was over here. Hey, everybody don't know nothing because you didn't do it. You're supposed to do it, but you didn't do it. I said in my pre-fight video for that fight with him and Josh Taylor, I said, Regis is going to have to do something he's never done before. He's going to have to come outside of himself and go for it in a manner, because he's fighting on a foreign turf. It ain't his backyard. They don't care who he is. They don't care how many knockouts he's had. If the fight goes to the final bell, he got to be prepared to know that he may not get a decision. So he's got to take his fate into his own hands. Now, did he sell out in that fight against Josh Taylor? Did he look like he was going for broke and trying to take the guy's head off like he had said something to his mama or something? No, he did not. And he himself said when the fight was over, the better man won tonight. So if the better man won, why are you still talking about if the fight was over here, you would have did something and this and that, and the decision would have went a different way? Dude, you got problems. You can't even make weight for a guy that don't even belong in the ring with you. So go sit your butt the hell down somewhere and watch the real professionals get it done. Josh Taylor fought a guy that didn't belong in the ring with him either, the kickboxer guy from Thailand, and he put him out with a body shot, but he came in shape, just like he was fighting you. That's why he's the champ, and that's why you're the former champ. Period.
Yes, sir. I thought the Juan Heraldez and Regis Prograis fight, it was interesting. Juan Heraldez in the first early rounds, he looked as strong. And then Regis broke him down. I felt like Regis beat him up, just like Black Fight Fan said. He beat him up like he had other things to do. He probably did have other things to do. He got another daughter on the way. Any day, it was any day now, so or hours or something. One of the commentators brought that up. So that's probably why he had to knock him out quick like that. You don't want to miss the birth. So salute to Regis with the win. I do want to see him against Maurice Hooker, or I would even want to see him in the next fight that we're about to talk about with Marios Barrios. Now, Steels, who did Marios Barrios fight again? And I want you to talk about it.
That's another fight I didn't get to see, but he did fight Texas, another
I forgot his
fellow Texas
name.
boy.
He worked with Ronnie
Carl.
Shields. Ryan Carl.
Ryan the Cowboy Carl. Yeah. So
What'd you think?
Yeah,
what did you think of the highlights?
Go ahead and cook on it.
Oh yeah,
I didn't get to see the fight.
Go ahead, Storm.
Yeah, I thought that the Cowboy came in, he was trying. He put the effort in. And I mean, he had Ronnie Shields and everything, but sometimes, you can only do what you can with what you have. And Carl was in there with Barrios, but Barrios was he was using his ring experience and he was using his guile, and he really set Carl up. You know, he dropped him a couple of times, and they had a hit clash of heads or something that caused a really bad cut over Carl's forehead and his eyes, and it was bleeding, similar to um, when who was that against Marcus Brown? What's his name? The light
Battle with
heavyweight
Jack.
Badu Jack. Yeah, that cut, wherever he cut him over that forehead, it was a bad spot because the blood was just running like a faucet. So mentally he was gone at that point, and when he caught a couple of those shots from Barrios, he went on down, and he kind of laid there, and he didn't want to get up. But it was a workmanlike performance for Barrios. He did what he had to do. He was working behind his jab. He was throwing some solid punches on the inside and good body shots. It was a workmanlike performance by Barrios, and I thought that he looked good doing it. And I thought the Cowboy gave an effort. He gave a sincere effort, but he just wasn't up to task in there.
I thought Barrios looked good. Um, it was a little rough in the beginning. Also, I thought he broke him down and caught him. He's punching in combination and stuff like that. But I think if Barrios moves up in the higher echelon, I think he might get in trouble, man. I don't think Barrios. I don't think that he could get. I think Regis Prograis would get him. I think Prograis would get him. I think he could possibly get Maurice Hooker, but um,
I
let's
don't
look.
think Barrios or Hooker are strong enough for Prograis,
Yeah, I agree.
and Hooker is too wide open. I mean, Prograis is really good with short compact shots, and his hand speed is good enough that he could catch in Hooker in exchanges that punches he wouldn't even see. That's how he caught the young man last night, Heraldo, because like I told you about that jab he was throwing at him, he was throwing that jab like, look over here, and he was dropping something else the whole time. So, that's actually skill and experience. But you can't do that against a guy who has similar. You have to do other things and make adjustments. But Hooker is definitely food for Prograis.
Definitely. Um, let's get to the last one, man. Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis. So Steels, I'm gonna come to you. Did you get to catch this fight?
Now, look, hear the story. You know what I mean? Because being in Canada, we're not afforded to the same luxuries as a lot of you Americans. You know what I mean? Being that a luxury of being able to order a Showtime pay per view. So it wasn't available over here. So a nigga had to stream it. So um, when I woke up, you know what I mean, uh, halfway, I don't know, I think it was like probably round five. You know what I mean? I woke up, put the stream on and shit like that. It might have been like, yeah, round four, round five in the fight. You know what I mean? And I'm getting real into it. You know what I mean? It's an exciting fight. You know what I mean? It's pretty much back and forth. From the small sample size that I'm seeing, I'm shocked that Leah Santa Cruz is somewhat able to, like, you know what I mean, sit in the pocket with with Tank Davis. He's able to get off his combinations and whatnot. I thought he would have been running around the ring a little bit more. Um, and he's able to take some punches. You know what I mean? He was able to take some of those power punches from Tank Davis at the time. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying the fight. And then the next thing I know, the shit blacked out. The shit blacked out. I'm like, ah, god damn. You know what I mean? So I pressed the refresh button. You know what I mean? The next thing I know, I see motherfucking Leo Santa Cruz, you know what I mean, lying flat You know what I mean? On his back. You know what I mean? With the leg bent, just like Ivan Baranchik. You know what I mean? So it's like I was like, God damn! But that's when I knew. I'm like, yo, Tank is no matter what, yo. Tank, this proves to me Tank is pay-per-view. This is pay-per-view worthy. You know what I mean? This little sample size right here got me fucking excited and turned up. You know what I mean? I woke up out of my sleep. You know what I mean? Got the stream popping. You know what I mean? Got this little sample size, and I'm turned the fuck up. You know what I mean? Wishing I could have spent $75 to watch this motherfucking fight. You know what I mean? So yeah, from the small sample size I saw him getting touched up, mind you, but in the end, I saw a nice little counter punch. He dipped and executed that uppercut beautifully. You know what I mean? And just flattened that motherfucker out. You know what I mean? It definitely rates up there with the Povetkin knockout. It 1 and 2. I don't know who got the better knockout between the two, but yeah, it definitely rates up there with that knockout. Even this one I think might be better given the action in the round. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Stormy B-Man. 503 jumped in, but he fell out. I don't know what happened. But go ahead, Stormy.
Well, I'm just going to read this real quick from Instagram. It was earlier this morning from Tank Davis. He says, I'm glad you okay and your dad is okay. Thank you for the opportunity to share the ring with the warrior. I'm forever grateful. And then there was a response from Leo Santa Cruz that says, we didn't get the win, but I'm okay. Tough fight and congrats to Javante on his victory. Thanks to the fans for all their support for me and my family. Hashtag Team Santa Cruz. That's class between both guys that fought at the top of the sport, that people follow both camps and both sides. People turned out in a 9,000 in attendance capacity for a pay-per-view card, which also is showing why Tank Davis should be respected for his growth and continued growth as a box office draw. The fight was a very good scrap up between the two guys. I had mentioned before the fight, I said if Santa Cruz can take Tank's punch, we're going to have a fight. And it was a fight until Tank made some adjustments. No doubt that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has something to do with that. I think that Floyd needs to decide if he's going to sit outside the ring or if he's going to put on a team jersey and get in the corner, because he's a distraction when he's outside the ring. But there was some adjustments made on the fly that put Tank in a much better situation, because the way that they were fighting, Tank wasn't going to win the fight. Just being honest with you there. And what happened is he got on in the inside close enough where he could unleash his power where Santa Cruz couldn't see it. From mid-range and from distance, Santa Cruz could see everything. But on the mid-range, that hand speed of Tank's was just the way to break down a guy who's a volume puncher like Santa Cruz. If you stayed at mid-range, he can kind of still see what's coming and overwhelm you with activity. But on the inside, he was very vulnerable. And I'm glad to see Tank was able to make that type of adjustment in a big-time fight with a big-time opponent in there. So he should be given credit for coming out and besting his opponent, but at the same time, where they're giving certain other individuals all these heaps of accolades and everything. Let's not forget that Leo was a 4-time world champion. The guy had come up there. He's like one of the best at the weight class, just like Tank. He fought a guy that was a real champion, not a guy who had been heaped upon with accolades, and change his record and everything and all of that foolishness. He was in there with a real guy, and he took him out in the most realistic of fashion. No judges, no funny business with scorecards or anything. Just an ambulance in the waiting, and that's how you do it. And you got to give the man credit. He's broke his way into my thunderous top 10. I can't wait to see him again. Tank put on a performance last night. You would have thought you was watching one of them concerts with Michael Jackson or something, the way he performed last night. It was that good. And I can't wait. And I think you have to give the guys the credit when they accomplish something. I don't like to put the carriage before the horse. I like to wait and see. He gave me something to see last night, and now I could finally say, yeah, this young man has arrived. Can't wait to see him again. Put the rest in the division on notice. He was able to really take care of business as a professional. He made the weight. Everybody was worried about that. Only thing he needs to do now is get a little bit more active, because the more active he gets, the more his timing will be there. Won't have problems making weight as much. He will be ready to go. Keep him in that certain type of mindset and go out there and destruct and destroy in the division, because that's what he's going to do. That's what I got to say about Tank last night. And shout out to Leo Santa Cruz for fighting like a warrior. He fought as a champion does. He tried his best to do what he was trying to do, and he didn't back down. He stepped up to the plate and answered that bell. And you know what? He went out on his shield like a champion.
Salute, Storm. Drew Titan, my bro, in the gym listening, fam. Appreciate it. I agree with Stormy B. I think that Tank should be given the credit. You know, I didn't like this fight when it was first made. I'm not gonna lie, because I knew Tank would mow him over. And he did kind of, and I predicted the round. I said Tank could beat him probably half a round in halfway shape. I felt like, and that was not to get at Leo Santa Cruz. That wasn't getting it. I just felt like Tank was too strong. And he's very strong to me at 130 particularly. Because it was crazy to me, even though Gamboa went down a few times, Gamboa was able to deal with Tank's power better. Now that could be due to the camp. And that could also be due to the gloves. See, I'm a glove expert. Tank had on winning gloves. When you got them winning gloves on, y'all, I promise y'all, yo, you could punch through somebody's chest, man. You don't feel it, man. The padding, how they make it, that's why they use them in the gym, so you keep your hands fresh. That's why most people use them in the gym and sparring and things like that. So, and I remember him, you know, I pay attention to little details and stuff like that. He wore them another time before with the Hugo Ruiz fight, and he knocked him out devastatingly like that. So that's might be something you want to think of, Tank. You know what I mean? You might want to stay with the winning gloves for now on, champ. Stay with those. You knocking dudes out crazily, and it don't look like you had, you know, a hand issue after the fight. Although you did get touched. I'm not going to take nothing away from Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz came out there and really fought. I gave Leo Santa Cruz the first 2 rounds. He lumped Tank Eye up. I know Tank Eye is probably messed up. You know what I mean? But, you know, after that, Tank came back, figured him out. Like Stormy said, he adjusted. I seen the adjustment made. He was tap, trying to land the uppercut. And it's crazy how once he got him in the corner, he threw at the same time Leo did, and he didn't see it, but he got there first and landed that left. It was a left uppercut. It almost looked at jaw breaking. I'm just glad that Leo Santa Cruz is all right. Now my whole thing is this. I seen a video that my bro Cali the Enigma did. Salute to Cali. I agree with Cali. You know, even before the fight happened, Cali was saying early before the fight even happened that he feel as though that Tank needs to fight Teofimo or somebody else next because he knew that he would beat Leo Santa Cruz. And that's not us dismissing Leo Santa Cruz, people. Nobody is dismissing Leo Santa Cruz. He is a 4-time world champion. I respect him. And to me, he gave. If that fight would have went longer, I don't know. I don't know if he would have been a little bit smarter in there. I don't know, but I gotta give Tank credit. You know what I mean? He did come out with the victory. He found a way to do it. I seen the video that Gary Russell made. Gary Russell said he's on Tank's ass. You know what I mean? He said he really wants him. Um, it's a lot of possibilities out there for Tank next. And to me, it matters who he chooses next. I don't just want to see anybody next. You got a great win, bro. I knew you could do it. I picked you by knockout. Now I want to see like you really. I want to see like it's time. You about to be 26 next month, next Saturday. It's legacy defining fight time. That's all I gotta say. Anybody got anything in closing, Steels or or Stormy before we close it out?
Yeah, I'd like to say that first of all, thank you for inviting me on, man. I appreciate that. Anytime we get a chance to talk boxing and I'm able to do that, I'm more than willing to do so. Salute to you two brothers, man. And regarding this past weekend, we had great fights this weekend. I noticed you didn't say nothing about the Jaime Munguia fight, but
Oh, I forgot. That slipped my mind. That
yeah,
slipped
but
my mind because I talked about it on somebody else's channel. That's
yeah,
probably.
but that it's okay. It's just that it was so much boxing from Friday through last night that man, that's how you feed us boxing fans. And I was there for everything. The only thing I didn't like was how ESPN intentionally overlapped their card with the Showtime pay per view, which that sucked. But outside of that, it was a great weekend of boxing, man. When they get it right, boxing is like no other sport, man. I love it. You know what I mean? So just salute to the entire sport for finally coming around and delivering what we want to see, and that's good quality matches. And hope that it picks up steam from here. We got a lot of stuff going for the rest of the year, and I can't wait.
Yep. All right, man. Let's get ready to close this thing out. Storm, man. Give your last. I know you just went, but give your last words. Then I'm gonna come to Steels.
Oh man, again, like I said, thanks for having me. Everybody can find me on my channel is Stormy B Man, and it's right here on YouTube. Can't wait to see what's coming up on the horizon, and just want to make the most of it, man. I'm really enjoying what we're doing here on the YouTube airwaves covering the sport. I'm excited about it. So, but thanks again, and salute to you, brothers, and have a wonderful week that's coming up ahead.
Yes, sir. Steels, close this out, man.
Indeed. Another dope session of court. You know what I mean? Got to review all the fights last night or this weekend, you know what I mean? And it's great that you can officially say boxing is back. You know what I mean? It was kind of a misnomer. I would say months back when ESPN was first reporting, they had that catchphrase, boxing is back. But yeah, for multiple weekends like this that we've just, you know what I mean, that we just seen, boxing is officially back, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's great for the fans, great for us content creators, you know what I mean? And speaking of which, make sure you check my shit out, the Odd Fella. I'm on YouTube as well. I go live usually on the weekends with the War Report. You know what I mean? Hip hop beefs, rap battles, hip hop news, boxing debates. That's what we do on my show. You know what I mean? Featuring the usual suspects. You know what I mean? As per usual. But yeah, that's what it is. Salute to the whole chat. You know what I mean? That was participating, aka the grand jury. Salute to OG Stormy B man. You know what I mean? For passing through and giving us your wealth of knowledge. And of course, big up to the JAB Jamboree, aka Judge Galvatron. You know what I mean? You know what it is. Salute the big salute to you and keep up the good work. Continue to give us these live streams and open up the court so we can speak our piece and testify in front of the public.
Yes, sir.
But with that being said, salute to everybody. It's your favorite, yet your most hated R filler, and I'm Gizon.
Yeah, man. Look out for us next week. We should be covering the Devin Haney fight. I don't know if anybody else is fighting. Y'all have to catch me up to date, but we definitely gonna talk about the Devin Haney fight. You know what I mean? His fight is next weekend. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we got something right after Tank's fight. So that's definitely dope. Um, Salute to everybody that came through in the chat. I really appreciate it. Salute to Stormy B man. My fault about yesterday, but you know we got it in today. Y'all catch me next weekend. It's your boy Act Reacher. The court is now adjourned. I never steer you wrong, and I'm out.
Peace.